What up? What up? What's up, everybody? Look, let's talk about this Dillian White character and some of these YouTubers. The ones from the some of the guys from the UK. Not all of them. Some of them. It's a handful out of many. You know what I'm saying? Look, December 22nd was always for Dillian White versus Derek Chisora. And this even came out of Eddie Hearn's mouth back in September. That's what this date is for. The date is not for Dillian White to fight Louis King Kong Ortiz, Dillian White to fight Dominic Brazil, or for a rematch with Joseph Parker. Right? So what if Derek Chisora finally gets his $5 million together and steps to Dillian White with the contract? Then that would mean that he's ducking King Kong Ortiz. What if Dillian White's team sends Louis King Kong Ortiz a contract? Then that would mean that he's ducking Derek Chisora. Right? You can't go around here offering everybody a fight and not being able to satisfy everybody in one night. Because that's what's going to happen. You don't want to fight with Louis King Kong Ortiz. You want to fight with Derek Chisora. You already beat him. You ain't fought Louis King Kong Ortiz. Fighting Louis King Kong Ortiz is the unknowing. You don't know what's going you don't know what you're gonna get when you get up in the ring with that dude. You have an idea. You saw the way that fight went with Deontay Wilder. You don't want none of that smoke. Derek Chisora ain't gonna move his head like King Kong Ortiz. Derek Chisora ain't gonna set up punches like King Kong Ortiz. Derek Chisora ain't gonna hit hard as Louis King Kong Ortiz. You're gonna have to respect that man. Every bit of him. You're gonna have to respect everything that he throws at you. You're gonna respect them punches, motherfucker. You're gonna respect every punch that motherfucker throw. Cause when he hits you, the first thing that's gonna come to your mind is, oh shit. This motherfucker ain't playing. This old man is not playing no games, man. He's coming in the ring to mosh you up. You understand what I'm saying? So let's talk about some other shit. Let's talk about conspiracy theories. Let's talk about that. So the WBC is protecting Wilder because of Tyson Fury's failure to enroll in the clean boxing program, the VADA clean boxing program, which he did finally, but there was YouTubers out there and there was commenters out there saying that this was a way that the WBC was protecting Wilder because of Tyson Fury's inability to sign up to the VADA clean boxing program, which, it doesn't make any sense. So you mean to tell me that the WBC is protecting Wilder, yeah, because of Tyson Fury not signing up with VADA. And then you're going to say that how was Tyson Fury ranked where he is right now without even being enrolled in the program from the first place? Well, that's simple. Because the WBC gives you a grace period to sign up. And I don't think that boxing scene and some of these news channels that talked to Suleiman told the whole story. I think they told what fed into the narrative that would give them they fed into their own narrative so that they can keep some misery and hate going. Boxing scene, boxing world news, and all these some of these cats that's been around knows that you can be ranked in the WBC without first being enrolled in Nevada clean boxing program. You guys and some of y'all YouTubers know this as well. Because if you guys didn't know that, well, why you didn't complain about Lucas Brown being ranked high in the WBC when he haven't even fought nobody before Dillian White? You see what I'm saying? If you're gonna bring up where was Tyson Fury ranked, how come you didn't bring up where was Vladimir Klitschko ranked when he had a year off? Why you didn't bring up where Lucas Brown was ranked when he ain't fought nobody? Are you following me? So that's another one I want to bring up, man. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, how do you come up with this shit? How do you come up that Shelly Finkel monkey wrenched the Deontay Wilder versus Anthony Joshua fight? How do you come up with Eddie? How do you even make a video explaining how Eddie Hearn is going to remove Shelly Finkel from the negotiations when he doesn't have that fucking power? This shit does not make any sense. How do you dictate how another boxer and his team conducts their business? How do you do that? How do you dictate another team conducts business? Like, that's like me going into your motherfucking house and telling you how you should clean your house, how you should run your house. You see what I'm saying? When should you pay your bills with your money? How can somebody praise another man for coming out there talking about how they gonna dictate what goes on in somebody's house? Yeah, Eddie Hearn, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, just go straight to Al Heyman. Yeah, just go straight to Diaz. Yeah. It don't work like that. No matter how you put it, no matter who you talk to in Deontay Wilder's team, you still gonna have to go through Shelly Finkel. You're still gonna have to go through who Deontay Wilder says you're gonna have to go through. Just because Barry Hearn and Eddie Hearn is not getting along with Shelly Finkel because Deontay Wilder told Shelly Finkel how we gonna conduct business. The person who you should be mad at, the person who you should direct your frustration with, is with the champ, Deontay Wilder, the motherfucker bronze bomber, the motherfucker from Tuscaloosa, damn, that's a hard word, Alabama. Hard name, sorry. That's who you need to, that's who you need to direct your voice to. Because he's the man who he's in charge. Unlike Anthony Joshua. Are you following me? Just think about this. If you're going to say, I think Shelly Finkel put a monkey wrench in the Deontay Wilder versus Anthony Joshua fight because of Shelly Finkel acting on emotion. And that Shelly Finkel didn't want Eddie Hearn part of the biggest fight in boxing. Do you understand that when you using that's what you call a YouTuber out there throwing around conspiracies to get subs to you're instigating. You're instigating fans going against Shelly Finkel. You're instigating fans not liking Shelly Finkel. You are trying to, well, you're not trying to because you can't, but you are putting a narrative out there that that Shelly Finkel shouldn't be a part of negotiations between Deontay Wilder and AJ's bosses, Matchroom Boxing. What you're doing is negligent, is hateful, is spiteful. And you're only doing it for likes. I would say that you're doing it for a monetary amount. And that's what I believe the reason why you're doing that. You're doing that so you can get more drones. Because your subscribers, most of them, not all of them, I see most of them as drones. Minions. Ghouls. They don't think for themselves. They are assimilated. They are an assimilated collective of big ass dummies. Of dum-dums that want some gum-gum. Dum-dum want some gum-gum. That's what they are. Because if they can't see that the only thing that you're doing on YouTube is divide and conquer, if they don't see that, then they will believe anything. They will believe anything that comes out of Eddie Hearn's mouth and anything that comes out of your mouth. Are you following? Do you understand? Another way he's playing this fucking whole divide and conquer. Look, this dude is still talking about Lucas fucking Brown. He's talking about how Lucas Brown beat Julius Long. When sometime in the fight he lost one of his hands and he really couldn't utilize it like he wanted to. But who the fuck is Julius Long? Where was he ranked at? In the top 15 in any division? No. Now you want to talk about Lucas Brown is trying to make a comeback after his loss against after his knockout loss against Dillian White. Now Lucas Brown is fighting Junior Patty, a fellow New Zealander. Like anybody gives a fuck who the fuck he fight. He's past his prime. He's not what we thought he was. He's not what you thought he was. He's too old trying to chase a title fight. But you still out there pushing the narrative that Lucas Brown is making a comeback. Lucas Brown is this, that, and the third. So you can sit up there and solidify Dillian White's so-called greatness. Because that is the only guy you bring up when you say who has Dillian White fought. You can't bring up Anthony Joshua because he lost against him. The only person you could bring up Joseph Parker, but when you bring up Joseph Parker, you don't bring up that he came off a loss. You don't bring up the fact that sometimes as a fighter coming off of a loss, you might want to take a workup just so you can get back on the grind again, so you can boost your momentum back up. Dillian Whyte saw fight anytime you fight a fighter coming off a loss, I'm pretty sure they thinking that this is the right time to fight Joseph Parker. He came off a loss. We saw how to beat him when he fought Anthony Joshua. This is the right time to fight him. He's coming off a loss. You're not bringing up that. You're bringing up Joseph Parker's greatness. You would talk how good Joseph Parker is, but you won't bring up his resume. You would talk about how bad how bad Deontay Wilder is, while bringing up his resume. You would talk about Louis King Kong Ortiz, and you would say he hasn't fought anybody. How is he the boogeyman when he ain't fought nobody? Well, how about you bring up Lucas Brown and him not fighting nobody? How about you bring up Dillian Whyte and him not fighting nobody? How about that? When I say fighting somebody, I mean fighting somebody and winning. Not fighting somebody and getting knocked the fuck out or losing. Are you following me? So, when you listen to some of these YouTubers out there, you have to take it with a grain of salt. When you come through and you listening to the LDBC, we're not expecting you to just take our word for it. You can always go look it up. They're giving out facts, they're giving out opinions, and they're giving out good information that you can go out there and look up yourself and create your own and come up with your own opinion instead of listening to some of these UK channels and using their opinion as your own opinion, using their opinions and calling them facts. You can look up everything that I'm saying. You can look up anything that anybody says on YouTube. But how about you go look up what some of these other channels, some of these UK channels are saying out there? You're not going to look it up. Because look, let me tell you what this one dude said. This dude's he's on this one UK channel's comment, and he says this dude is Byron 1, and this is on the title of the video is WBC threatened to remove title from Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury fight Nevada. This dude says the WBC is corrupt to the core. All they had to do is enforce White as a mandatory, and we wouldn't be in this mess because Wilder would run to AJ really quickly asking for his cash out check. And then somebody kind of commented on there and said, simple, yet so more than likely. Look, the reason why Dillian Whyte is not the mandatory is because it's in the fucking WBC rules that just because you have the silver belt does not make you the champion. It makes you number one. The reason why that is, that I'm thinking that the reason why that is because in order for you to be the mandatory, the WBC has the vote to make you the mandatory. The WBC voted to make Dominic Breazeale the mandatory before Dillian Whyte had the silver belt. Now, if Dillian Whyte would have done what he was supposed to do, Dillian Whyte would be the fucking mandatory. If Dillian Whyte would have opened up that December 22nd fight for Dominic Breazeale, he would be the mandatory. If he beats Dominic Breazeale, if he could beat him on December 22nd. But instead, he turns and he wants to fight Derek Chisora for $5 million, or Louis King Kong Ortiz and rob him, because Dillian White believes he's the A side, when he shouldn't be using that analogy, because he hasn't fought anybody. The only thing he got is pay-per-view in the UK. But guess what? That's going to run dry, because he's not going to make it too far. Because if you fight Louis King Kong Ortiz, your lights is out. If Dillian White fights Louis King Kong Ortiz, some of these UK channels out there won't have nothing to talk about. You understand what I'm saying? They will not have nothing to talk about. The only thing they will have to be talking about now is Billy Joe Saunders may be getting stripped, butt ass naked, and Deontay Wilder. Because they can't keep Deontay Wilder's out their name, because they love using his name, because that brings them clicks, views, likes, and monetary amount. They can't talk about nothing else because it's not going to bring in that bread. Anthony Joshua is not talking about Anthony Joshua is not going to bring you bread. Talking down to Wilder and his team and anything that has to do with Deontay Wilder and or the WBC, Shelly Finkel, is the only thing that's going to bring you money. That's the only thing that's going to bring you money. Come on, bro. Let's just put everything in perspective here. What are some of these YouTube channels out here, specifically the ones, some of those guys in the UK, what are you going to do when your time is up? What are you going to do when you can't talk about how good Anthony Bootlicking Joshua is? What you going to do when you can't talk about Dillian the Batiman Snatcher versus Deontay Wilder or anybody no more? What are you going to do when your time is up? What are you going to talk about? What are you going to do? Because guess what? When Anthony Joshua gets knocked out and Dillian White gets knocked out, you're done. Your numbers are going to plummet, and your subscribers are going to jump ship, because everything that you have said would not be consistent with you talking about anybody else. Because people are going to your channel specifically to hear you talk about Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua, and Dillian White. And also wanting to hear you talk about a bunch of bullshit. You're not going to have no more bullshit. Well, you are. There's always room to hate. There's always room to hate for somebody. Yeah, correction to what I said, because there's always room for misery. Because miserable motherfuckers like company. And that's the reason why they listening to you. Because there are drones. They are assimilated motherfuckers. And on that note, shout outs to the LDBC, and everybody stay sucker free.